Hello and welcome to another Sharing Sunday with me, Helen Armstrong from Pandrapops Crafting Joyful Moments. Today we're going to be making this fold card. It is double-sided and I've used the Everyday Arches from Stampin' Up, and also, if I remember rightly, let me just remember what this paper is actually called. I think it is Lovely Blossoms, but so it's Lovely Blossoms Designer Series paper, and I've also used the dies. So this is what we're going to be making today, and that's the back. So we're going to make a slightly different coloured version of this, but I'll show you how we make it. So I'm going to be using some of the Designer Series paper from the Lovely Blossoms suite. This is gorgeous paper, and you get 3 sheets of each, which is not normal for Stampin' Up. Normally we get 2 sheets of each colour. So yeah, this is gorgeous. I am using some of this, and I think I use this on the other one. And then we have this one, which is this really nice, I think it's crumb cake. I will check the colours for you. And it's using a lot of Secret Sea, which is my favourite colour at the moment. And we've got this gorgeous green on the back of the flowers. So I've cut out a few of these flowers already to make the card. So the colours for this one are Crumb Cake, Cloud Cover, Old Olive, Petal Pink and Secret Sea. And then I'm also going to be using sticker from this one. I might actually use this sticker because I've already got one of them open. We may use some of these bits down here, or maybe this here. We'll see as we go on. Okay, so I'm also using the dies from the Lovely Blossoms set. Let me just double check. I should have had everything ready, shouldn't I? And I haven't, because I've lost the stamp set and the die set. Anyway, so I'm using these 2 dies from the set, and these are the 3 arches that I've used to create the cutouts. So that's how they nest in together. All right, so let's get started. You'll notice my pile here, that's everything that's ready to go on the cards. What we do have to do though first is I have got to quickly emboss 2 more of these, because we need 2 more, because as it's double-sided we are putting doubling up on these, and I'm using the gorgeous lined corrugated embossing folder, which again comes with this set, this suite. It is a gorgeous suite, and one of the reasons I'm using it is, unfortunately, a lot of the current papers in the new quarterly catalogue are not available currently. They are due back in stock over the next 2 to 3 weeks, but I thought, well, I can't really show you if things aren't in stock, so I thought I'd go to something which is in stock, and this definitely is. This paper is. Everything else that I'm using today is definitely in stock. Okay, so in order to make our card, we need 6 panels, and we also need 2 joiner pieces. Okay, so we're going to, first of all, we're going to put these out. Doesn't matter which way around you do it. I'm just going to get 3 and put them out here. Okay, and then we're going to just quickly fold these, and we're going to put 1 there, and we're going to put 1 here. Okay, now it's up to you which way you want to fold your card. I've decided to do a little bit of a Z fold, but it is up to you how you want to do it. What you've all just got to make sure is that all these are in line and there's about a similar gap in between. Now I'm just going to see if I can just, that's it, bring you in a little bit more. Okay, so it's a bit, you're a bit closer now. Excuse me for the coughing. Right, so let's stick these bits down. I'm not sure where I got the idea of this one from. I knew I wanted to use the arches again because we'd used the arches last week. And I thought, oh, will it make a nice foldy card? I say foldy card. Really good English, isn't it? And I thought, oh, it might do actually. So I'm just going to put that down in between the two and make sure that I have a slight gap so it enables the card to bend. It's a lot easier when you can see on top. I'm just going to move that down ever so slightly. Okay, and just let that adhere to the card. Okay, I'm going to do the same on this side. So what you don't want to do is you don't want to put glue all over it because you want to be able to give that a little bit of space so it'll adhere to the card and still fold. Okay, leaving about the same amount of space. Trying to get them as well, so you're trying to get them as even as possible. I think we're probably there. Okay, so I'm just going to let those sit for a little bit and then we're going to add our other panels to the front. That is the idea. So then we have our card base. So let's adhere those. I hope you're having a lovely week. Yeah, it's been a bit of a busy week as normal here in the Armstrong household. And you will not believe what I thought today was. So coming up in the United Kingdom and also I think in America, not sure about the rest of the world, but we have Father's Day coming up. And I thought Father's Day was today. So I got everything ready to make my husband's favourite meal, which is jambalaya. And then, of course, he then said, I don't think it's Father's Day tomorrow. I think it's probably next week. Yep, turned out he was right. It was next week. And I've just realised something I've done. With me chatting to you, I've not remembered to put my ribbon on. So you need to put your ribbon on so you can keep your card closed. I'm just going to cut more than I probably need. And then we can adhere it to the card. Okay, let's move it across a little bit so you can see. So I'm just going to put my ribbon approximately in the middle. So then we have something that we can tie our card to. Tie our card together with. Okay, then we can add our card, second card layer. Yeah, so yeah, note to self, try and remember what you need to do with your card making. Have I just not put, oh, I have put glue on there. Okay, so yeah, so as I said, I've got everything I need to make my husband's favourite meal today. And when my son came down and said, Mum, you do know it's not Father's Day, I said yes. I said, Dad had reminded me, and he just said, oh, but are we still having jambalaya? So I said, yep, still having jambalaya. So they're getting it 2 weeks in a row. Lucky them. And my son's girlfriend is vegetarian, so I'm going to be making a nice pea, asparagus and prawn risotto for my son's girlfriend as well. Okay, so this is our card blank, all ready to go. That's the front. Oh, that's not stuck down very well. Let's just give it a minute or so to stick down. It's just not adhered. Ah. Okay. Let's make sure we give it some time to stick. You know me, I like sharing all my mistakes because we're not perfect crafters in any way, shape or form. I certainly am not. Well, if you watch my channel, you will know that I'm definitely not a perfect crafter. Yeah, I don't think there's ever a card I make which goes perfectly. So we just take our time letting that now set. Okay, so this is our front. So the idea is, if I remember rightly, yeah, that's the way it goes. So this is going to be the very front of our card. That's going to be where we put our sentiment, and then we have the back. Okay, so we're going to start with our back pieces because they're the ones that are on the top. And I have them all ready to go. So I've got that one to go in the middle. Sorry, in the left-hand side. And sorry, I know my hand's reaching across. And we've got this one to go on that side. Okay. So we're going to adhere our green panels first. So we're using Old Olive, but it is two-tone cardstock on the Old Olive. And I'm going on the darker side. That's the lighter. Is it the lighter side? No, I'm going on the lighter side. Even though it looks quite dark, I am going on the lighter side. So I'm going to stick this down. I will just give you the heads up for this. I am using an awful lot of dimensionals making this one. I'm just putting extra glue on as well because obviously we're sticking it not to a flat surface. So yeah, I don't know whether anyone else's weather has improved. Ours certainly hasn't. June so far has been a very, very wet month. And I'm desperately feeling for the farmers because June's never a good month to be very wet, unfortunately. I know from past experience when we've gone to the pumpkin farm in October, they tend to not get very many big pumpkins if they get very wet weather around this time. So yeah, it's very difficult for farmers. Last year it was very dry, this year it's been very wet, and the year before it was very wet. There just doesn't seem to be any time in between. Okay, so I'm going to start by just doing our middle section. So on the other side of this is this gorgeous pink, petal pink. So you've got light petal pink and dark petal pink. But I really like this against the Old Olive. I like this leaf and flower pattern. So I'm sticking that down. Okay. And then we have some flowers, but I'm going to just put the flowers up on dimensionals. On the previous card, I only put one flower on this part, but I decided I wanted to get the flowers to stick off a little bit. So you will, if in the United Kingdom, and I think also some like America and Canada and what have you, you pay extra for shipping things which are, the depth is, it's wider. So I understand if you'd want to not maybe put as many dimensionals on this card if you were going to post it. I think this will still go through in the United Kingdom as a normal letter. But I can't guarantee that until I do actually send it. Okay, and then I want that just coming off that end. Okay, but before we go any further, I'm just, actually I might leave my little, I've got these little cutouts, which are the actual cutouts from this. So we're actually going to use them on this card. Right, so let's now go and do these ones. So this is the crumb cake side, and I'm using the Secret Sea side to tie in, which has got Secret Sea and also cloud cover. You may hear some buzzing noises in the background on this thing. My husband is currently outside cleaning the car. So you might hear our jet washer go a little bit. Just now I'm going to use this one, which this die just cuts out those little petal pieces. So I'm actually just going to trim this down, because I don't want all of it. Do I want to trim it off at this end? I think I might do. Just slightly trimming the end off. It's up to you how much you decide to use of this type of thing. I don't want to stick that just off here. And I'm just going to put some dabs of glue on the back. So you know me, I love my Tombow Mono green glue because it does give me that bit of wiggle room. Just having that stick up like that. And then I'm using, just to pick up the green tones and the white from the card. So that's the background. So this came from, let me just pick up that piece of paper. So this came from the bottom of this sheet. So on the back of this sheet, you've got the cloud cover stripe, and this came from the bottom. So I just cut it, and I'm going to add it. I'm just layering lots of different bits and pieces. That's my plan with this card. If you just, you know, layering and adding bits and pieces as you go on, I think it can make a really nice effect. And I'm going to add again dimensionals to our flower and leaf. I need to really stop going over the top, don't I? So what I like, if you do watch this, I'd love it to comment to see what kind of things you'd like me to make. Currently I'm just making everything that I love when I do these videos and my ideas. But if there's anything specific you would like me to do on the channel, that would be great. Also, obviously, if you're watching this video and you've liked it, it would be great if you could subscribe or just hit the like button. That's enough, really. You don't have to subscribe, but if you could hit the like button, that would be lovely. It just helps the channel a little bit more. Again, I'm just trimming this down. Adding some glue to the back. So I am coordinating certain parts of it so that they look very similar. Other bits are very different. So again, I'm just going to add that to about there. Bring it across probably slightly. That's more like it. Again, we've got our green floral square that we're just putting on, again at a angle. I'm trying to match up as best as possible, but It's not essential. Remember, these are handmade cards. They don't have to be perfect. It just shows the love and care, you know, the love you put into your card. People are just happy to receive. We recently did a swap with our Stampin' Up team, and I have to say I was blown away with the card and book that I received from my sharing buddy. And you know, the delight when you get something which is handmade. It's astonishing. It's just lovely. Right, I'm just going to pick up and I'm just going to add some glue, a spot of glue, because I'm going to put 3 of these little things on. So one there, and let's put one there. Okay, I probably should have picked it up on the other way. Let's do it the other way. Okay. Again, no specific way to do this, apart from just stick them where you want them. And let's turn that over. And then stick it there. Okay, so I've got the petal pink ones on there. I'm going to put the Secret C on here. And maybe down there. Okay, so I put my first one down there. Again, I'm using the lighter side of these. Just turning it over. Oh, doesn't want to be, that's it. I was going to say it doesn't want to be turned over, but finally we got there. Okay, and then I need some more of the pink ones. I don't know where my other pink ones have gone, but let's just quickly grab some. You can, with the two-tone cardstock, one of the things you can do is you can cut through multiple layers at the same time, which is what I've done. It just made life a little bit quicker when I was cutting through. And yes, I will be saving all of my other little pieces for other cards. Okay, try and get that so it's the right way around. And then we've got just this last one to do. So a little one there, probably too much glue there, there, and then one down here. Okay, so that is the back of our card. The only thing we need to do is add a little bit of a sentiment. Let me just get the card that I did. So you can either leave it blank or you can add sending smiles or another sentiment if you wanted to. I'm actually going to leave that blank just at this moment in time because I'm not sure I've got space enough to put. I would have to put it across there, but we might do that at the end. And let's turn it over and get to the front of our card. So if I remember rightly, that bit is going there, that bit is going there, and then this bit is going there where you can put your sentiment. But before we do anything else, I'm going to stamp our happy birthday, and I'm going to stamp it in Secret C. So if you've got different shapes, you don't need to use arches, obviously. If you've got squares, rectangles, you could make this doing anything. I'm just going to turn that around because my Y didn't quite work. That's better. I remembered this week to stamp before I stuck down. That's a new one for me. Those of you who watched me before realise that I sometimes stick down before I stamp and end up in a real pickle. Oh. Look what I've just done. Right, okay. Let's grab a wet wipe and get rid of the Secret C that I've now just put all over my film. Because what we don't want to do is keep transferring it to the white card, which I just have done. Okay, I think we're a bit better now. Let's add this to the card and we're going to have to cover that. This was me just saying, yeah, no, I've not made a mistake. And then what do I do? Okay, I think what we might do is, I think one of those is too big. So, I'm sure we have a little flower that is a bit smaller, which is sticky from our sticky sheet that we can just put over there. Woohoo! Ephemera saves the day. Right, so on this side, I have actually used the dark side of my Secret C two-tone paper because I just think it needed that little bit more depth. Okay, it's probably not straight, is it? Because I can't really do it on the top. All right, let's just move my thing out of the way. This middle bit, what we're going to do, if I show you the card again. So this bit, all I did was chop up in half and then layered it up. So I can't decide whether I'm going to use the dark or the light. I quite like the dark, but we'll make our decision when we come to adding it. Okay, so I'm just cutting that. I'm going to adhere everything else. So as I was saying, the weather's not been great at all. I've also been very busy doing some preparation for Christmas in July. So if you live near me, which I live in Wilmslow in Cheshire, so if you live anywhere near me, if you want to have a look at my Facebook, which is Pandrapops Crafting Joyful Moments, you will see tomorrow or even this afternoon that I've put a little flyer on with my details on how to book your place for the Christmas and July classes. Now, the Christmas and July classes, oh, actually I quite like the lighter side. The Christmas and July classes are £15 for the class, for each class. In each class you make a minimum of 3 projects. And we're using some of the new Christmas sets which are coming out in July. And we're also using a couple of old sets from last year, combining things together. So if you'd like to take part, and as I said, you live in the area of Wilmslow, so it's East Cheshire, or, you know, near Manchester, then you're very welcome to join in. So as I say, I will be posting that on my Facebook a bit later. I'll put the link to my Facebook in the description of the video. All right, so just peeling off all these. So as I say, it's £15 per class, but there are 5 of them and they're every Thursday. So if you decide to take part in all 5, you get that 5th class free, so you only pay for 4. So by which time you should have a minimum of, just going to trim that off. You should have a minimum of, I think it's 20 cards, and a couple of home decor projects that you can use for ready for Christmas. So you already have a massive head start on your Christmas card making at the end of July. And I've even asked my husband whether he will put our smallest Christmas tree up in the dining room, which is where I do the classes, to make it even more Christmassy. I think that he says that's going a little bit too far, but I'm a bit of a Christmas fiend, so for me it's not going too far at all. Whether he will agree to that, I do not know. I might have some persuading to do. All right, so that's our middle panel done. So the last one we need to do is this end panel, which is the very front of our card. So let's adhere this, and then we're going to do a little bit of fussy cutting. Oh, just put a little bit more glue around those edges so it stays put. Okay, making sure I didn't line that up very well, did I? Oh, okay. It's not in the middle. Oh, it's slightly better, I think. So I'm just going to quickly cut round this, and we're going to adhere this to the front of the card. I didn't want a white border around it. You could leave a white border if you wanted to, but it's not something that I wanted personally to do with this one. So if you notice, what I'm doing is I'm turning the paper, not my scissors. I'm not cutting this out very well. Probably because I don't have my close to glasses on. Trim that bit off. Okay, so we have that. We're going to lay that on there, and then we're going to raise that up. Okay, well, let's do that bit now. Dimensional backs are sticking everywhere. And let's put this on dimensionals. So as I say, yeah, we are using an awful lot of dimensionals with this card. I definitely think it's worth it. It's a very special card for somebody. I mean, this is not your everyday card. This is, you know, this is a card for somebody. I mean, not that you don't care about everybody, but, you know, this could be a special card for a mum, a daughter, you know, your special friend, your best friend, or, you know, ant and what have you. And you can, you know, if you change the paper up, this could be, you know, for a man, or you would just change the paper up so it to be less floral. Okay, so I'm just gonna now add this to the card base. Okay, so we're nearly done, nearly done. We just need to add, so we've done our back, we've done that bit, we just need to add our sentiment down the bottom. Now, we do have this one here. I'm not sure whether it's going to be too big. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get it out and I'm going to stick it on a little bit of card and just quickly trim around it. Actually, just going to have a look. It might work, but I actually might just make sure I cut round and have the, take off the border maybe. I think that might be what I will do, just to make it that little bit smaller. So going forward, but you can use any sentiment. You could use any of the sentiments that come in the kit, and sorry, in the suite, or anything else that you have. Remember, you don't have to use the paper that I'm using. You can use any paper that you have. This is just me giving you an idea of what you can do with this specific paper, but this will work for anything, any type of paper that you have, any stamp sets that you have. Again, they don't have to be Stampin' Up, so you can use whatever you have. Okay. Now, double checking before we adhere this down. So we need some around this edge. What we don't need to have is them on this edge, because we're going to glue that down so it's the same height. Okay. Take those backings off. And then we're going to add a little bit of glue around here, just to make it stick to our card. Okay, so we have Inspire on this one. Happy birthday. Are we going to do our little sentiment at the back? I think we might do. Okay, so let's grab our secret seam. Let's hope Helen doesn't put her fingers in it again. That would be really, really good. Tap, tap, tap. Okay, just get my, I'm just clean off the stamp. Push it rather than sticking my fingernail in. Right, so we just need our scissors again, because we're just going to cut this out. I'm just going to fussy cut round it very, very quickly. Off. Obviously, if you don't like fussy cutting things out, you can either use a punch, or you can use your oh, brain gone. You can use the your paper trimmer. There you go, brain came back. You can use your paper trimmer. Okay, so remember, we always say use every part of your dimensionals. So I have just cut that strip off the bottom to add this. And what I probably realised is I needn't have done as much as that. Okay. Okay, I'm hopeful that's just going to sit on top, which it is. Okay, so there we have our card. So in order to fold it, what you're going to do is one's going to go that way and one's going to go behind like that, if I remember rightly how I did it. How did I do this tying bit? Yeah, so one's going one way, one's going the other, crossing behind, and then we're coming in the front and we're tying it in a little bow. Okay, and we're probably just going to see if I can trim.
The fridge door has been left open for over 5 minutes.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that interruption. Okay, so we then have our finished card. Let's just move everything out of the way so we have some clear space. Bring the other one in as well. So let's just see. So we have obviously two different colourways. So that's that one. And then obviously, depending on which way the person wants to have it, you could have it standing up that way, or you could have it standing up that way. Whichever side they want, they can change it on a daily basis if they wanted to. And then we have this one here again, which is a different colourway. There you go. All right, well, let me know what you think in the comments below. As usual, have a great rest of your weekend and enjoy the week ahead. And I'll see you back here again next week for Sharing Sunday. And as always, everybody, craft your joy.